Hey guys, I made some videos in the past when I had some more up-to-date Pokemon Center data, but I'm just going to use the data that I do have to just tell you why Battle Styles will sell it this month, and if you haven't heard about it, to just get in on it if you haven't and you want to. So, I have the data for the rates that Astral Radiance Pokemon Center ATBs and Vivid Voltage Booster Box sold out, and I also have data up to the 29th of Battle Styles and Stellar Crown booster boxes. And the rates are saying that they'll sell out within this month. To give you like one estimate, the Battle Styles will sell probably around February 13th, more or less, like give or take some days. And then Stellar Crown, it'll probably be faster than this, but in the worst case, I think it'll probably sell at the very end of the month. And so, what am I basing this on? So, I'm looking at a couple of things. So, one thing, why is this an opportunity? So I see Vivid Vulture's booster boxes, and I know what day it's sold out. It sold out on I think the 22nd. So if I go here, it went from the last 2,000 boxes sold on the last day, and it went to zero on the 22nd. 22nd, it was barely above MSRP. Well, I guess MSRP for these boxes are 144, but it was about $20 above MSRP. But it was kind of slow growth, and you see that after that, it had this like extra like rise in price because that's when the sell happened. And that's what everyone thinks is gonna happen with Battle Styles. Like Battle Styles has risen a bit, but its potential is kind of more. It's kind of at the same place where the voltage was actually about $20 above MSRP, and history does repeat itself. Okay, so when I was taking the Battle Styles booster box data, I was calculating like, okay, so this is the difference, and this is all by rate. So at around the 29th, I estimated it was selling in about 10 days. So 10 days from today, from that day, is about actually this weekend. So I'm just giving you like a range of numbers, and just to give you a sense of the urgency. So if it actually sold out in 10 days, it would sell out by about the 8th. Um, these numbers aren't always consistent, so I'll just give you some context. So a straight average of this divided by this 10 days will give you the 8th. If I did a smaller number, if I just look at these, I'm like, okay, let's choose like a smaller number. Okay, 500. There's a day where there's like 400. There's a day where there's like some with 600 to 1,000. Let's say 500 is a safe conservative number. Even if it sold out exactly 500 boxes a day, it would sell out by the 13th, which is in about 9 days from now. Um, So yeah, you don't really have a lot of time, especially if you want to get the better booster boxes. Like I ordered Silver Tempest when it was really late, close to around 2,000 boxes, and yeah, one of them came ripped, and I couldn't get cases. Although Silver Tempest wasn't selling cases, I did order some Battle Styles. They came in cases. Boxes were a little damaged, but it seemed kind of okay-ish. They tend to give you higher priority on better items if you buy earlier. If you want to look at actual realistic data, so as Vivid Voltage kind of went down, it had like some initial high numbers, and it kind of slowed down to about like 300 to 500 a day. Um, but then there's always like accelerated period. So even if like 700 is kind of optimistic, you just know that like toward the end it's gonna sell very very fast because that's usually what happens. Same thing with Astral Radiance. Like if you saw Astral Radiance ETBs, since they're also a hot item that everyone looked at, you saw that the very last day it kind of doubled in buying rate in this. Now it's probably because people had stock data to also look at, so they knew exactly when it would sell out. But at this point, like there's enough data to just say, hey, it's gonna be around this weekend or next week at the latest. Um, and then it should have a similar trajectory of the voltage where it goes toward $200 a box after being very low price for all this time. Is it the best investment? No. Is it a very safe investment? Yes. Um, it's just like all booster boxes go to around like at least $200 after like a certain time period, after usually about 5 years after release. And we're kind of hitting that point. Okay. Next is Stellar Crown. Stellar Crown had a slower selling rates, but we're already seeing the effects like similarly. So You see, when people think it's gonna sell soon, boxes on TCG Player rise above MSRP, which is what they're at now. Like it's above MSRP by a good amount. Stellar Crown, people are buying at 161. I saw like some 170s, 167 and some 170, and they're doing that because they can't necessarily get Pokemon Center pricing because some people just can't buy it from Pokemon Center or they don't know, and so like the price rises here. The price always rises faster on TCG Player. When I was looking at Stellar Crown boxes, they were selling after a while. Like initially, they were only selling like about 50, 60 boxes a day, but then from like January 23rd to January 28th, there was a consistent like at least like 120 booster boxes a day sold. And on the very last day I could check, it went to like 176. So usually these numbers go up over time. Um, and so if I use the 175 number, like I just do the rates, I could do the straight division. But yeah, it'll sell at latest 27th, and it'll be the end of the month. And when I track Scarlet Violet booster box data because I do that for other videos. It seems like this is sort of hierarchy. Surging is the top, Paldea is second, and then fighting for around third is usually around Obsidian and Twilight. It used to be just that Twilight was like third or sometimes better than Paldea, but Paldea has been beating out Price, and Obsidian has just been straight up crazy. The two sort of dark horses that people see are kind of Obsidian and Stellar. There were two sets that no one thought would do well, and the sentiment didn't really change for a while. Like Twilight, people didn't think would do well, but then after, as soon as Green Ninja started taking off, the sentiment changed to like no one thinks Twilight's a bad set. But people are still kind of iffy on Obsidian and Stellar as far as like public sentiment. Surging, no one really thinks it's a bad set now. And Paldea, no one really thinks it's a bad set now. Like it's just sort of general sentiment. And because like these are considered like dark horses that people do like, they're just the prices just keep going up. Um, and so it just shows like public sentiment, like what do people actually want to like, open, whatever. Like Stellar has the Squirtle and the Bulbasaur, and Obsidian has the Charizard and the 151 Pokemon. Temporal has been an interesting place. Like it's still other booster box that hasn't sold out yet. I don't really have data on that because when Pokemon data was available, it would always show this number 2,000 plus. But to give you other context, it does show on one of the most relevant items on Pokemon Center, and so that just shows like some amount of like people are actually buying it. I just don't know how much. If I go to best selling, you see like Common Culprit Shroud Fable, which is also at that 2000 range. I just order a case because I don't know what's gonna happen and I don't want to miss out. Um, and then let's see if I can add Stellar Crowns up there, and then Temporal is somewhere over here. So Temporal is selling at some rates. It seems to be slower than Stellar Crown possibly, and yeah, there's so much of it available. It's not gonna sell that quickly. But Temporal, some people do think it's a better set, but it just has the resistance of Pokemon Center pricing. And it doesn't have like 151 Pokemon. Like the Pokemon are kind of warped. Um, but yeah, Temporal, I don't really have data on that, but Stellar and Battle Styles are definitely on the list for this month. And Temporal is probably not too far behind after those sell out because it's just about opportunity. But I don't know exactly when that'll happen. It could be this month, next month, or month after. So don't miss out on Battle Styles and Stellar Crown if you want to get in on them. Um, yeah, it's kind of a no brainer. As far as if you do want to get on them, like if you don't, like that's fine. Like I don't personally like battle styles that much, but Sword and Shield is so hyped that even if it's the worst box of all their errors are usually at least $200. So it's like a free easy money. All right, that's it for today's video. Thanks, guys. Bye.